Can you hear me?
Wait, no, this stopped working.
What the
It's usually like so much better than. Okay. Fucking hell, we're ready to go. After 40 minutes of. Let me just see if this is recording. Episode number 7.
No, six.
Episode number 6. Okay,
Yeah.
episode number 6 is finally here. Thank you, Edu. Thank you for being a part of this. Let me give a quick, the context of where we are sitting right now. He had to wait for 40 minutes
Yeah.
because I got stuck in traffic and we couldn't get a cab. When we finally got here, my neighbors were outside. They were complaining there was water leaking, and I thought, okay, that's not possible. We get there, my entire balcony was flooded. So we spent half an hour cleaning my house, including him, which he was like the main person mopping my place. I'll put a picture here for the episode for everyone to see. And then the mic stopped working, but now we finally managed to make it work. This is not the mic, it's working because this is the mic we're using. But we're here. Welcome to episode 6, Edu. Thank you for being such a patient host, and welcome to good to have you here. Let's start with the icebreaker.
Yeah?
Let's do it.
As thousands of faithful listeners of the podcast know, we have an icebreaker question to start with. And Edu's question today is, what is your favorite drink in the world and where are you drinking it?
Alright, this may sound funny, but my favorite drink, under the specific circumstances, is Baileys. Baileys. And I'm gonna tell you why. My grandma has a house in the mountains, and every summer, especially during August, all the cousins, all the uncles, we go over there, and we spend almost like a month together. So it's like we are like 25 cousins. So it's a lot of fun. And in this house, there is a little porch, a little bit away from the main house. So we can go there, drink all night, play games, and make all the noise we want without bothering everyone in the house, right? So we spend a lot of nights there playing Werewolf. Have you ever played Werewolf?
Okay.
Mafia, you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
Mafia.
it's
Okay.
the Mafia game.
Okay.
Or we play.
25 people playing this now.
No, not 25, but normally we are 6 or 7 from the house, and then friends come over different people, friends, another cousins, whatever, no? A bunch of people playing there during weekdays, and then during weekends we gather there, we drink, and then we party, right? So Baileys is this kind of drink that you can drink slowly, drink a lot without completely messing yourself. So the next day you can do it again.
So you don't get a hangover from Baileys?
You don't get a hangover. Well, it depends. If you drink some during many hours, just enjoying life.
Just Baileys with ice or just Baileys?
Just Baileys with ice. Yeah. We call it a milkshake.
It's too sweet for me. I don't know.
Ben is a fan as well. Maybe there's something about this podcast that attracts
Like
Baileys
all the
lovers.
Baileys fans,
Yeah.
we should have them as sponsors. If anyone from Baileys is watching this, then please sponsor us. Okay, so we were talking about interesting things and
Baby Guinness, Baileys.
Guinness.
You have a follow-up question?
Yes, so talking about interesting things. Something very interesting happened at the start of our year at MBA. We had a WhatsApp group.
Oh boy.
We had a WhatsApp group, it was a nice, wholesome, innocent name that we kept for ourselves, which is called Fresh Meat, which also is the inspiration for the name of our podcast, which is called the Fresh Meat Podcast. But then there was this whole drama that happened. I'm just going to very briefly tell what the drama was, and you were the man who knew everything that happened. So we had the name Fresh Meat. Suddenly turned out some people don't like it. They wanted to change it. They changed it to Placeholder. We kind of like Placeholder. We got used to Placeholder. And then suddenly it was IESE MBA 2025 that democratically was voted the least favorite. But we still kept it.
Yeah.
Democracy was completely, broken down at IESE. What happened?
The fun fact before we start, to be honest with you, I didn't know the meaning of placeholder. I didn't know what a placeholder was. so completely lost. Okay, so long story short and in a nutshell. So last year we had the middle weekend during the spring games, and few lads were coming like a day before or whatever. So I got in contact with Jan, and I told him, since it's my city, let's arrange a dinner or something, right? So we arranged a dinner before this weekend happened, whatever. And we went party, we had a lot of fun, and actually the group that is now the class group is the group that I created for that dinner.
It's main group.
Yes,
that's fun.
yes. That's the group.
Who was
So
the first one to be
Can you scroll up to the beginning of the group just so we can see?
Nice.
You want to see the first message?
Yes.
Yes. Go to which is the first picture?
This one.
You want to show it to the camera?
Yeah.
This is the first picture of our main group, and after that we've shared like 1,000 pictures. Click on it, and then you'll be able to go to the message.
The first message
This
is
is so
Jan.
cool, by the way. This is so cool.
Yeah, this is history, yeah?
29th of March.
This is history.
This is exactly 13 months ago. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Inception of the MBA class 2025. Okay.
So the first message is Jan sending me the contact information of Alex Sakovic and asking me to add in him, right? So yada yada, we organized a dinner, we had a lot of fun during
Who are the OG members of this?
The original members, so Jan and me, then Alex, then Max, then Tom.
Very German.
German Tom. Yeah, I was alone, surrounded by Germans. Javi, then this one, I don't have this one saved. Anyway, sorry, whoever it is. So, and then we started sharing the link, and then it escalated from there, and we were Alvaro, Philip, Mabres,
and then everybody, then Jose, let's see, who else is here, Pepe,
Andre, Benny boy, here you are.
Join.
Uni, shout out to Uni.
Shout out to Uni, who's not with us at Uni.
Yeah.
Sergi, oh man.
Sir, yeah.
So this is, okay.
Living history, man. Living history.
This
All right.
is pretty cool.
Yeah. So we were having drinks and whatever. And he's like, okay, let's keep the WhatsApp group, right? So I called it Fresh Blood, because in Spanish, fresh blood is like the newcomers, the newbies, the rookies, right? So fresh blood. And someone, I don't remember who, told me, man, in English, it's not fresh blood, it's fresh meat.
Okay.
So I changed it.
Okay.
Right? So we go, MBA starts, the link gets shared, it becomes the official WhatsApp group of the class, right? And then a second year warned me that he heard on the cafeteria some comments about the name of the. By the way, in order to help us, a few second years joined the WhatsApp group to give us insights, places to go, yada yada yada, no? So at the beginning that was the intention. It escalated from there, but that was the intention. So so they told me that fresh meat actually had some predatory connotations. So in order to not
offend people.
not to offend people. No, it was like I didn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, right? So because obviously the intention behind was not to offend, but anyway, people can get uncomfortable. So I decided, very stupid. I decided to trust in democracy. sorry, delete that part, please. In democracy among a bunch of monkeys, that is what we are, right?
Yep.
So I posted a poll, like I'm gonna change that. I give very mature, very insightful explanations, like guys, I want to remove it because some people yada yada yada, and then I proposed, okay guys, if you want to propose a name, just put it here, and there was like 11 suggestions, and 10 of them had some relationship with fresh meat.
I remember that.
From fresh meat.
It was like fresh meat 25.
Yeah.
People really got attached to that name because you would say like, oh,
fresh meat.
Put it on fresh meat.
Fresh meat.
Like,
we still say it to an extent. Put it on fresh meat.
Yeah. And people was very very creative. There was some fresh meaty McMeaty. It was. I was suffering and I was having fun at the same time, right?
Do you remember your favorite part from the suggestions?
Yeah, meaty McMeaty.
It's inspired by Boaty McBoaty, a famous British naming debacle. It was funny because you probably know the story, but I don't know actually. There was a new boat they were launching, and they had a public poll to decide what to name it. and some person said Boaty McBoaty, and everyone thought it was hilarious, so everyone voted for Boaty McBoaty. And then the government said, no, this time we don't believe in democracy, this is clearly stupid, we cannot do this, we're going to name it something else. And then 3 weeks later the referendum happened. And we voted for Brexit. Which is like, we don't trust the public to name a fucking vote, but we trust the public to take us out of the customs union. Like,
but it's a strong parallel with what he did. Like,
yeah.
Democracy, like, fuck democracy. Okay, so then, what happened?
It didn't end there. So, but that time I didn't limit any permit. So basically everyone was an administrator. So everyone started to change the name of the group, right?
I remember that. Yeah. There was this chaos.
Yeah.
There's name changing every second.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that got filtered into the 2024 class.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, maybe we were like 370 on that group, and all of a sudden we were like 650 people in that group. I don't remember the number exactly, but it was something like that, right? Because
so I remember
beef calls beef, so they wanted to come and see what was going on.
Yeah, I remember.
Right?
So I was told that a second year posted on the group saying
Screenshots.
that guys, the first years are going crazy over a name. Here's the link, join and enjoy the fun.
Yeah.
And this is your popcorn. And they all flooded our WhatsApp chat.
So what I did, I removed all the administrator privilege from everyone except Jan. He keeps his privilege nowadays. And then I asked Boyd to remove all the second years because he had the contact saved. It was kind of the beginning of the MBA.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not that beginning, but I didn't know everyone. I didn't have everyone. And nowadays I don't have all the names saved. And I said, okay, find the second years and then delete them. We kept a couple of them for logistics, like BOW and whatever. And someone had the idea to put the name placeholders. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to hear about that anymore. Placeholder it is. I didn't know what this meant. Yeah. Until one day it was like, okay, this is enough. I'm gonna change. Let's be professional. IESE MBA class 25.
is that what the WhatsApp group of the previous year is called?
What was the previous years? Do you know the second year's WhatsApp group? What is it called?
Something similar. I don't know, but I will say something similar.
We should encourage the next coming year to call it Fresh Meat.
Fresh Meat.
I think is a good transition to our next. The reason Edu was helping with mopping is because the water is his element, and we've invited him here to talk about many things. But I think the thing that you're most excited to share and we're most excited to hear about is your experience in the Navy, and talk us through it. Like how did it happen? Kind of, do you see a future going back to it? Like, what are some things that people don't know, or just anything that comes to mind, really? I'm sure you have a lot of things to tell us. So.
Yeah, because we don't know anyone.
I mean, to get rid of the boring part first, I would say yes, I want to go back to the industry, but not on working on board the ships. Right? Life at sea is pretty hard, and I quitted that world because of that. But we can go into that deeper later if you want. But how it all started, it's actually pretty funny. My family is traditionally from the Navy. So a lot of my ancestors, we have tracks of the 11th century of ancestors that were serving in the Spanish Navy.
11th century?
Yeah.
It's like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That's insane.
A little bit, 800 years or something, like some register of someone that was serving in the Royal Spanish Army.
Wow.
That was the name by the time. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And but yeah, for instance, Columbus has a descendant that is actually an admiral right now in the Spanish Navy. So just imagine.
But he's Italian, right? Columbus.
Yeah, he was Italian.
His career was with the Spanish.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there is a lot of conflict, I would say. No, there's a lot of discussion about his origin, but I believe he was Italian. Anyway, so a lot of family tradition, and whoever was not in the Navy was in the merchant marine, right? So in the merchant Navy, the name changes depending on the country, but it's basically seafarers, but civilian seafarers, right? Taking cargo here and there, taking passengers, oil. Seafarers. Every time you see at the sea and you look at the sea and you see a ship, there's one of us driving one of those, right?
So everything that's not to do with the military or fishing is also part of that.
In Spain, actually, to go fishing, there's a specific school for that. They focus in different areas, right? let's say that we have in common the navigation, but cargo handling, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Right. So the purpose of the ship matters when
Yeah.
you study, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the story goes like this: I wanted to join the Navy to follow the family tradition, but it caught me in a transition time because I wanted to join the Spanish Navy Academy to become an officer, right, a lieutenant, and then promote from there. And but the law changed for the access, so I had like one spare year. Long story short, I had 1 year that I had nothing to do, right? So actually, a good friend of mine who's now actually a captain in the army, he called me and he was like, "Dude, we have 1 year. What shall we do?" And I was like, "Well, I saw the civilian, the maritime academy for merchant mariners. Let's do it now for 1 year, and then we transition to the Navy or whatever, right?" So that's what I did. I started over there, and I really like it. And one of the most appealing things of being a seafarer is the ability to see the world, to travel all around. And in the Navy, you cannot do that much. You are much more limited. While in merchant marine, you can actually go. There's ships going left and right every time, right? So my chances to see the world were higher if I was going for the merchant marine.
So how many years you did that for 1 year or more than 1 year?
What do you mean?
You did the training for 1 year, but then you liked it, so you stayed instead of transitioning to.
Yeah, I started 1 year in the school. Right?
Oh, okay.
I
And
started-
then you were on.
And then I decided to stay.
For how many years?
Yeah.
So the school was a total 5.5 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Then I went 1 full year at sea.
Mhm.
When I mean 1 full year, I mean 1 full year, 365 days on board.
Let's see.
Yeah, at sea. I did it in 2 periods, one for 4 months when I finished my 4th year in the academy, and then 8 more months after the year and a half that was missing for the captain license. Don't want to get that much technical, but the point is like after 1 year plus the university degree, you can go to the exam, which is held by the Maritime Authority. So you do the exam, you pass it, and then you are qualified as a merchant marine officer. So that's my academic background. Then I started sailing in a ferry company that was doing mainly Spain's mainland and the islands, back and forth. But I became really bored of that because it was always the same ports, right? It was Barcelona, Palma, Ibiza, Menorca.
Oh, just within Mediterranean.
Yes, Mediterranean, and then also from Cadiz to Canary Islands, right? But I thought that I was limiting myself a lot because I was very same ports, right? Every day, each contract after the other, always the same, right? So I started to investigate a little bit, and I found that Royal Caribbean, at the time, owned a luxury brand that was specialized in worldwide cruises. Like what you are doing is like you are going 1 month, let's say, to Eastern Mediterranean. So they do 1 month in Turkey, Egypt,
They're a
in
very
Israel.
popular brand because I've heard Royal Caribbean is like I think number 1 in terms of cruises.
Yeah, well, it's number 2. Actually, number 1 in size is Carnival, but then it comes Royal Caribbean, right? And since Carnival had a luxury brand, Royal Caribbean acquired some ships and incorporated a luxury brand. And I started to work for them, right? Because Royal Caribbean also does, they're very big ships, they're resorts, so they are always on the same ports, right? It was fancier than the ferry, but at the end of the day, it was the same. This luxury brand, the good thing is like 1 month. Right now, my old ship, for instance, is doing a world trip, right? So they are going all around the world. It's gonna last for 1 year and something.
And it's the same passengers, or people kind of get on and off?
I mean, if you have the money, you can stay for the whole time, right? Those are luxury cruises, so they're quite expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want, you can stay there.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, normally they were changing like every 10 days or so.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I was at some point, I was doing pretty good actually, even during COVID. I had a small stop during COVID where I went to work as a volunteer on a hospital ship that was going to Africa to do surgery for free in Senegal. Like, because obviously people was not traveling, so cruise industry was completely stopped. And then I joined again, and in 4 years I got like 2 promotions, so my career was looking pretty good. And my captain at the time, great captain, great leader, the kind of people that you look up to, he told me, if you continue this path, maybe in 5 years you're captain. And he sat with me and said, this is what you want to do with your future. Like, okay, I invested time training you, but he was a true leader, and he was like, are you gonna be happy doing this? So I started to think about my alternatives, and then I decided to apply for the MBA. And here I am, mopping the floor and recording the podcast.
Like, you know, I watch all these videos of, I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, you're not that active, of the North Sea, and then people talk about like, they've seen, like, there are these all comments on Reddit, like they've seen some crazy shit out in the open sea. Like, I mean, what's the craziest thing that you've seen? Things that, like, you know, if you tell someone, they'll be like, no, that's not true. Have you seen something? Or?
Yeah. I mean, nothing, not. I never saw an UFO. If this is what you're asking.
Did you see a mermaid?
I didn't saw a mermaid. I wish I did. I didn't know.
A Tinder, the mermaid.
Yeah.
Swipe right to a mermaid.
2 miles from you.
2 miles away from you. 2 miles under you.
In the middle of the Atlantic.
And then the ship goes like.
Let's see. 2 things, crazy things that I saw. In the beautiful aspect of it, the nicest thing that I saw is the green lighting. Have you ever heard about the green lighting? It's like when the atmosphere has very specific conditions. When the sun sets, the last rays of sun, they curve over the atmosphere, and you see a green flash. So it's
called the green ray. I've never seen that, but I've seen a movie, a fictional movie, but it's like a plot point in the movie.
Yeah.
By the way, this movie is not really this conversation at all, but if you like French art house movies, The Green Ray is like my top 10. Yeah. Anyway, get back to your story. Get back to because I was actually seeing The Green Ray and not a movie about The Green Ray.
Yeah, I saw it, and on the worst side, the most terrible thing I saw. Well, 2 things actually. One was a rocket, a missile, flying over us in Israel. Yeah, it's a crazy story. By the time there was elections in Israel, and Netanyahu said something like, "We are gonna annex half of or whatever, right? Something," and Hamas throw a missile, right? And we were in Ashdod, which is in Ashdod or in Haifa. I don't remember. One of the 2 main ports of Israel, right? It's also Navy base. So immediately the AA guns start working, and like the Iron Dome, like and shooting, and they shoot down the rocket. It was crazy. But the craziest part is that by the time the watches, which is taking care of the ship at the moment, the watches are normally pilot and co-pilot, right? I was a junior back then, and I had a Croatian senior. He was with a coffee looking at the rocket. He looks at me, dark sense of humor, and says, "It feels like home."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, this guy was.
So you saw rockets just literally.
Yeah.
Flying.
Only one. I mean, it's like it was not a massive attack.
I've never seen a rocket.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Like that rocket that you saw probably killed a lot of people.
No,
it got intercepted.
Oh, it got intercepted because of the Iron Dome.
Yeah. Plus Netanyahu was around, so it was like security enhanced like crazy. It was more. Anyway, and the other, probably the worst thing I saw is like one time we rescued some stowaways. So it was like we were near in the south of Italy in a super crazy storm, right? We were supposed to go to Sicily, and we slowed down in order to let the storm pass, right? So
what did you just?
You just slow down and cancel one port, right? It's like we were doing like from the Adriatic to the west side of Italy. That was the cruise, right? And we had one stop in Sicily. So there was this big storm over there. So we just slowed down and we cancel one port, and we do 1 day at sea, and then we go to the next port, right? So in that moment, we heard some chatter on the radio. I was on duty. We heard some chatter on the radio, and it was a cargo ship replying to an SOS. So obviously we called the captain and said, "Captain, we heard that," and he said, "Okay, engage the engines, full ahead, let's go." So the ship was rocking, going up, going down. Things were falling. We're talking about a cruise ship, so it's like a hotel. So quickly calling the galleys, secure everything, securing the piano. It was madness, right? So we ran over
to go rescue somebody.
because there is
There's some protocol, right? That you have, if you get an SOS call, no matter where you are, no matter which country, you will go ahead.
Unless you put your ship and your crew and your passengers in danger, you are legally obliged to go and assist. Plus, it's a honor code. It's like us seafarers know that things can go south very, very fast. So we never deny help to anyone. It doesn't matter from where. It doesn't matter. Even there's also stories about wartime where they assist some stowaways, some people that is stowaway the correct word? It's like
I mean, stowaway is when someone's hiding on your ship.
Oh yeah, no. So
you mean like
castaway?
Castaway, yeah.
Castaway. Sorry. So yeah, that's what I mean. So we went to help them, and then it was heartbreaking actually, because it was a small sailing boat, like 14 meters, and there was 49 people inside there. In a 49 people. Yeah, they all survived, but the rescue was a nightmare, because cruise ships are designed to be very maneuverable, right? Because you go in and out of port every single day, multiple times. So it's very maneuverable, and the cargo ship is not maneuverable at all. So we were ordered by the maritime authorities of Italy to conduct the rescue ourselves. So that's what we did. We approached the rescue boat and the sailing boat, and we took the people in, and it was crazy. The deck was covered in blood actually, because they have these metal railings, and people was holding and sleeping, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Hopefully we managed to get everyone on board, and then we delivered them to the Italian authorities next week also. So this friend of mine, Marin, also a Croatian crazy guy, a lot of fun. He was hanging from the ladder, pulling people.
Badass.
This guy is like a beast. So he was basically throwing people up
and holding the ship wide.
There are
7 meter waves.
It was doing like that. So it was insane. So that's. I mean, it ended up well, but it was quite shocking.
Wow. There was one time I rescued my friend from a small wall, and I picked him up. That's my badass story compared to this.
From what you rescued?
I mean, I'm just making a joke about I was on top of a wall, he was too short. That is the most badass thing I've done.
I thought you were shaking some serious...
No, and compared to this guy who was in the open sea...
This is also it's especially striking for me, because I went sailing on Saturday, and it was quite stormy, but maybe the waves were 1.5 meters, and all of us were just sitting green on the boat. Someone threw up, I won't say who, but this person lives in this house.
Oh no, she threw up.
I have to say that there is no shame in getting seasick. Even through my career, even when I was first officer, sometimes I was getting seasick too. But you just learn to.
So it's not something you get used to.
There is some people that it's blessed by Poseidon or whatever, that they never get sick.
Yeah.
But the rest of mortals, time to time, you get sick.
Right.
Especially here in the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean is a beach. You can beat this later on, all right?
No.
So
this is the free
I
uncensored.
think if anything, we'll put it on the poster for the podcast episode.
Mediterranean is a bitch.
Yeah.
I like that tagline.
Yeah.
Mediterranean is a bitch.
It's catchy. It's
catchy.
Wow. The Mediterranean has short waves that slam, right? The North Atlantic, it's normally it's very, very high waves, but they are smooth, because there's a lot of space to extend, right? It's like a wave.
Okay. So Mediterranean is more narrow.
Yes. Okay. So you can have simultaneously waves coming from 2 or 3 different directions. So it really shakes you. So Mediterranean, it doesn't look like, but it's dangerous. It's a dangerous sea.
It's a bitch.
Yeah.
Come to the show and tell segment, and we have here a nativity scene, and Edu's going to tell us a story.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple. It's probably pretty cheap, but my first Christmas at sea. Long story short, the companies have agents in each port where you are going that represent the interest of the company. So if you want to ship something to someone in the ship, you normally send it to that guy, right? And this guy brings it to the ship whenever you arrive to port, right? So just before Christmas, the agent come on board at the ship, and they had a box for me, and there was obviously Christmas was 4 days later, So the box was filled with panettone, jamon, cava, and this nativity scene. My mom is very religious, so she wanted me to have it like a nativity scene while I was on the ship, right? So now everywhere I go, everywhere I move, when I was on the ship. After that, every time I went to the ship, I was taking this with me, because when you're on the ship, sometimes the replacement doesn't come because of whatever problem. So you never know if you are gonna be on the ship for Christmas. So since then, every time I move around, I bring those with me, and they're probably from a discount shop or something. yeah, pretty cheap.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all. I always in the shelf on my room or in my cabin when I was on the ship. I always saved a little space for that.
And how many Christmases did you spend on the ship?
I spent in 10 years I sailed in total gross.
Yeah.
I was lucky. I spent on board like only 4 or 5. I don't remember.
Wow.
Is it one of the toughest days on the ship, like Christmas Day?
It can be, especially for me. Christmas is a very special date for me. Like all my family, as you can tell, I'm a very family person. And in my family, it's a huge deal, right? For other people, it's New Year's Eve or whatever. I don't care that much about New Year, but Christmas I care. And being at sea is tough when it's Christmas, but you're also surrounded of a lot of people in the same situation, so it kind of alleviates the loneliness, right? You gather together, you celebrate, and it's nice. It's actually pretty nice. Christmas on board.
Does the crew member become your family in that moment, like, or no?
Still,
there's this clear line between professional person that you don't get attached. Do you get attached with the crew members?
Oh yeah, surely, sure. For instance, in Easter, I went to a friend's wedding.
Yeah.
He was getting married in Mexico. So I had vacation, and I said, this Easter. So I went to Mexico for the wedding of my friend. You have what I told you about the total institution. It has its downsides, and obviously it has its upsides, right? Imagine being with the same person for 3 months in a row, 8 hours a day, hand to hand, alone on the ship, driving the ship, right? And you're on the bridge, which is the command center of the ship. You are driving and you're sitting with the same guy for 4 months, 8 hours a day. So they get to know you a lot, you get to know them a lot. So when you have this, when you go to port, since you have the same schedule, you go outside together, you bond a lot. Also with your engineer, because at the same time, there is an officer, an engineer that is on the engine control room. So you are on constant contact through the phone. So they become like family, big time. Especially during COVID. During COVID, we got together a lot, because we were there in that fucked up situation, without knowing what was gonna happen. So yeah, we became really, really close.
And how do you, now at IESE we have our teams, it's obviously very different, but do you see some parallels?
To some extent, but for some people in IESE, it's like super immersive in, for instance, you guys, you come from a different country, you don't know that much people in here, but me, I'm in my city, I have my family, I have my friends, so I didn't experience the isolation of being in a new place and sharing most of your common traits, interests, and whatever with a close community. But I also had quote unquote life outside of IESE, right? Because this is my town. I know I know my friends. So in that sense, it can be for others, but for me, no. But because I am not isolated.
Wow. Wow, this is yet another emotional show and tell. Like, people are just like raising the bar high. Like, I'm waiting for someone to just come and show and tell, just like the most stupidest thing. But no, everyone.
Is it becoming too cheesy?
No, I'm loving it. Like, I think this is, and Pavel is the most proud because it's his segment. So he's like, look, my segment is bringing out the best part of people. We spoke about like being with people on the crew and your life. The last segment is the question we ask everyone, and it's a question for you. What is the meaning of life?
Okay, I'm gonna be very, very brief.
Are you gonna? No, you're not gonna say. Are you gonna say?
I'm gonna be very brief. It's 42. It's 42. Whoever wants to get it, they will get it.
Go and Google it. Go and Google it. The answer is 42. I mean, yes, you've told us a lot of emotional things. 42 is a good way to end it. Have you read the book, Hitchhiker's Guide? You read the book?
Yeah, of course.
I haven't read the book. I need to read the book.
Dude, I cannot pronounce the name of the book in English.
The
Hitchhiker's
Hitchhiker's
Guide?
Guide to the Galaxy.
The first word.
Hitchhikers.
Hitchhikers. No,
No, it's
I
good.
get,
No, no, it's
yeah,
good.
but I always.
But Spanish people struggle with the H. Also, Italian people struggle with the H. Like sometimes when it should be there, they don't pronounce it, and when it's not there, they pronounce it. Like
I always say when I was talking, because this book actually, my captain recommended to me, this awesome captain that I have.
The Croatian?
No, he was actually pretty interesting guy from the Isle of Man. You know where the Isle of Man is?
Yeah.
So from the Isle of Man, so he was basically a Viking, but super smart, super kind, super nice guy. So he recommended me the book to me, and actually whenever I mentioned the book, he was laughing because I said hijacker. So the first time, and he didn't bother to correct me. So he let the conversation flow, and when another Brit guy, there was this hotel director that they had a very, very good relationship, and they were joking all the time, super British sense of humor, right? So when the other guy Tony comes to the conversation, they say, "Oh, what are you guys talking about? The hijacker." You know,
This guy too.
they never told me. They never told me.
This is like something the Taliban would have read before 9/11. The hijacker's guide to galaxy. Oh man, I think that's a good end to the segment. There is one question from the audience for you.
Oh, yeah?
There were actually two questions, all from the same guy, from Shubham. And
Shout out to Shubham.
I haven't read the question. Let's see what the questions are about.
Shubham and
Okay,
I
we have another
Midwestern
question.
boys together.
Before you-
Andre and Shubham have asked a question.
Okay.
So Shubham has asked you that he's asked you two questions.
Alright.
Both are stupid. Both are very stupid, Shubham.
You have to love him.
Yeah,
you
you have to love him.
him.
Yeah, I love this guy. Shout out to Shubham.
You know that he had more jobs than Barbie. Every time we're talking about any industry,
He's there.
he somehow.
Oh, in our section, that's Diego. You know Estevez?
Yes.
Yeah, and also Gaio tries. But we're like, Diego is like, well, it's plausible, you know, he's been around, but Gaio is like, you know, probably 23 or something.
Okay, so yet again, Natasha's question is a yes. This is not even a question. She said yes. She's done this even the last episode.
Okay.
She wanted to respond to the story saying yes, and then she responded to the question.
Oh, I see.
But anyway, there are two questions. There are three questions. So Shubham's asked two. First is, how many boats did you sink? I'm guessing that was the answer.
No. One.
Why? No way.
One. But
Titanic?
that's before I became a seafarer. I used to do regattas. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then once I had like, I was a kid. I was like, I don't know, 9-10 years old, and I was sailing in an Optimist. An Optimist is a really small boat. It has box shape, and it doesn't float by itself if it capsizes, right? It's very typical in sports, in regattas, to capsize. Like if you took a decision, you capsize, right? So it had some floats in order to not to sink if it capsizes. And one day I forgot to inflate them.
Oh.
So I went to sail. I went to do a training. I was doing regattas. I was like a Spain national competition level. So I was good. Not the best, but I was good. And then I capsized, and the boat sank.
Oh, okay, so the answer is yes.
Good question from Shubham.
Yes.
Surprisingly.
Second question: do you drink and sail?
No, never.
Never.
And I could lose my license with that. For instance, every time there was any kind of incident on board the ship, the first thing they do is bread and ice you.
Before you get on.
But if you're just in a recreational boat with your friends,
No.
still no.
It depends. For instance, if we rent a boat with the skipper and this fun boat, and I'm not there taking care of anything, then yes, I will drink. But something professional deformation, right? You always have it inside you,
Yeah.
and it's like you don't mess with the sea, so don't drink too much.
Too much.
Couple of beers, whatever, but no, don't go too crazy.
Makes sense.
And then we have a question from Andre. I think it's a joke. How did he become captain of the seas? Seas with the sea.
Come on, I'm not doing that bad.
No.
I'm not doing that bad.
I don't know. I think you got the question.
I'm not doing that bad, man. Come on.
Oh, now I got the joke.
Just
oh, shit.
Very grateful for that.